Good day to you one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. I haven't done this for a little while because I've had a little break over Christmas, but it's nice to be sat back in the chair doing all my usual stuff. I'm reacting to some music today. It's Stephen Wilson Jr. doing a song called Grief is Only Love. I can't wait to get stuck into it. I think there'll be a few of you who are relieved to see me covering this individual because you've been going on about it for a while in my comments, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. Justin Hawkins rides again. I tried to incorporate that thing that you see some singers sort of modulating their lips or undulating their lips to create some sort of effect audibly, I suppose. But I did it after I'd finished singing, so it didn't really make any difference at all, I don't think. Just made me look a bit weird, I suppose. Anyway, today I'm reacting to an artist who I've been told to listen to many times by you guys, and whose name kept coming up in the comments. Most recently under the McGee review. I love McGee. I know you guys love him as well. There's just... I don't think I was kind of like blown away by the dexterity of his guitar playing and stuff. It's more just like the atmosphere of his recordings and how rough around the edges it is. And I've been listening to all of his stuff on my daily exercise when I take my daily exercise, and it's a great soundtrack to that. And I don't think all the lyrics have sort of absorbed into my consciousness yet, but I just love the atmosphere of a McGee recording. Anyway, under that McGee episode, there were many mentions of other musicians, either because they felt the artist was an influence, like Jai Paul, John Martin, Michael Hedges, and Bon Iver, who is an artist that I've deliberately avoided. I don't know why I've done that. I think that's the contrarianist in me. Or contrarian? Yeah, the contrarian in me. Everybody says something's great, I'm like, so. Or because it was felt that they were as worthy of attention as McGee, including Madison Cunningham, Blake Mills, what you're holding is a dream, and Dirt Miller. That's a hell of a handle.
Well, I met a man in Kansas City. His face was worn, language gritty.
But there were many others as well. But the one name that keeps coming up as a guitarist and a singer is Stephen Wilson Jr. So there's a lot to choose from, and I know Father's Son has been recommended.
By my grandma, she got it from the Bible.
But I'm going to listen to an acoustic version of Grief is Only Love, taken from the album Son of Dad. And the main reason why we chose this one is because it made my producer cry for 10 minutes. And ordinarily, she has a daily cry, and it's sort of 7 to 8 minutes. Can go on to up to 20 to 25, depending on which of the soap operas she's watched. But and you know what the plot lines are on Coronation Street and Emmerdale, which are her two favourites. Anyway, apparently it's really, really emotional, so I'm going to watch it and react to it, and I'm not going to cry at first. Okay, I'm immediately seeing a capo on my eyes. What's happened to my eyes? Lost on some battlefield, no doubt. 1, 2, looks like capo on 3, so I'll stick that on for now. I'm not going to presume to be able to play it immediately, but we'll try. Okay, so there's a detuning happening here, because it's definitely at least detuned to D on the E string. I would imagine the next one up is probably detuned as well, but let's check. Yeah, that's the second one's detuned as well.
Life is a battlefield, and it'll drag you right through hell. Bites like a rattlesnake, the kind that you just don't.
So it sounds like this. There's a drone note in there that's confusing me because of the capo position.
The kind that you just don't see on the trail. And I miss my father every day. The kind of pain I pray don't fade away.
So there's a lot of singer-songwriters that do this thing. They find a tuning that suits them, and then they're just able to move the... And they do that thing where they just find a shape. I think it's this. And then open. You move it around. It's a good device. I don't know if that's exactly what he's doing, but it's something like... And singer-songwriters tend to do it because the only thing they have to concentrate on is emoting and having the lyrics sort of resonate. So the less kind of fiddly stuff you have to do with your left hand, the more you can put into the performance itself.
Guide me down the road. Grief.
Yeah, so I think he's pedaling between the first string and the fourth string. But he's got his finger in that position there for the occasional. Really cool.
There's only love that's got no place to go. From my great granddad in the ground to all the ghosts in my hometown.
Oh my God, listen to that. What's that called when it's not vocal fry, is it? That's just like a really used and well-worn set of vocal cords. It has this lovely rasp to it. It's so emotional. I'm going to listen to that again and see if I can get myself crying. Here we go.
If there's only love that's got no place to go. Yeah.
So when he goes to that fourth chord, he's doing that, I think. And he does this thing where he drops this finger down to the second fret of the third string. And then it clashes in a really lovely dissonant way because there's a semitone difference between those two notes. It lets them ring out. That's half of the fun, I think, of listening to this type of artist, is trying to figure out what the tuning thing is. Resist the temptation to look it up online. You know?
World is a cannonball, yeah. So deal with the feelings you can't hide. God gave us alcohol.
Is that cursive singing? It's kind of reduced. Anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about his background. He's a singer-songwriter from rural southern Indiana whose bio explains that he draws upon indie rock, grunge and country and is influenced by artists including The National, Willie Nelson, John Mellencamp and Nirvana. And he's also spoken a lot about the role of Soundgarden in his earlier development as a guitar player. He says, I learned to play guitar around 16 years old. It's quite late to it, actually. And I got a Soundgarden tablature book from a friend who could barely play a D chord. I can't either. Soundgarden taught me that I could tune my guitar differently. I didn't know you could tune it to anything but E, A, D, G, B, E at the time. Learning that you can turns the guitar into a whole different instrument. All your chord vocabulary, your scale patterns, your modes, everything you've learned, it's all out the window. You're starting over, it gives your instrument a different colour and allows you to do something entirely different. I got really into the innovation of that band early on because they were doing something unique. Once I got into that music and indie rock, it was game over for me. His music has been described as sitting at the intersection where Nirvana meets Johnny Cash meets the Cadillac 3. And I don't know what the Cadillac 3 is, but that's a lovely description. He moved to Nashville to study microbiology and started an indie rock band, Otto Vaughn, amazing name for a band, as lead guitarist, but turned to songwriting after 5 years. He worked as a scientist until 2016 when he signed a publishing deal with BMG Nashville, writing songs for other artists including Brothers Osborne, I don't know those, and Caitlin Smith, that's a familiar sounding name, until he started releasing his own music. So what a journey. He was brought up by a single father who was a boxer, and he boxed from the age of 7, becoming an Indiana State Golden Gloves finalist. So I better be careful what I say because he might punch me really hard in the face. But to have that sort of dexterity and sensitivity as a guitar player and also be able to beat the shit out of people with boxing gloves on, that's really cool. Sometimes it sounds like I'm wearing boxing gloves when I play piano. His debut album, Son of Dad, was released in 2023, and it's a 22-song tribute to his late father. It was released 5 years to the day that his father passed away unexpectedly. Fucking hell, that's really heavy. Oh my God. Life is a battlefield and it'll drag you right through hell. Bites like a rattlesnake, the kind you just don't see on the trail. Miss my father every day, the kind of pain I pray don't fade away. So he's content to sit with the pain, I suppose, on this one. Which is what you're supposed to do, isn't it? You're supposed to live in the moment, allow the emotions to exist and acknowledge them and move on when it's time. The ones above guide me down the road. Yeah, grief is only love that's got no place to go. From my great-granddad in the ground, all the ghosts in my hometown. Yeah, they're the ones that find me down the road. Yeah, grief is only love that's got no place to go. Grief is only love.
Yeah, grief is only love that's got no place to go. From my great-granddad in the ground, to all the ghosts in my hometown. Yeah,
so I'm hearing a bit of Soundgarden and Chris Cornell in the way he when he opens up that sort of raspy. I just don't know how to do it actually, but he has got a bit of that, hasn't he?
the ones that find me down the road.
Oh, and he's cursive in the same way that Chris Cornell used to be cursive as well. Even in sort of the later period of Chris Cornell's solo career and the stuff he was doing with Audio Slave and stuff, this is like it's sort of singing around the vocal cords, and it sort of makes it sound sort of cursive and sometimes a little bit mumbly in the sort of emotional quieter bits. But then when he opens it up, there's a roar because there's all this stuff that the note has to get through, and it's sort of, I don't know, I think it undulates flaps of flesh, I suppose, around the vocal cords. I always thought that sounds painful actually, but I think when you do it properly, you're not even engaging the vocal cords. They don't get dry, they're not hitting each other like that. It's the stuff around it that's making that distortion, and it's really emotive. It's just so, it just sounds like he means it, doesn't it, when you hear somebody singing like that.
Grief is only love.
I love the way he's playing like a classical guitar there. It sort of reminds me a little bit of Jerry Reed, and I'm a huge Jerry Reed enthusiast, but he's more of a picker. This seems to be like some plectrum work, and you can tell by the wear on the finish of his acoustic that he's been hammering that thing for years.
Grief is only love.
Like grief is only love. Could even be like on an early. That could be on an early U2 record or something, couldn't it? That kind of stadium rock roar.
I don't feel like crying, but I just keep crying.
This is more like the sort of James Bay approach to guitar playing, I think, and I expect Stephen Wilson Jr. will be morbidly offended by me making that remark. But I don't know. I think when you see somebody with a classical guitar, you think there's going to be sort of stuff happening at the top here, bits of bass notes and harmonic information in the middle strings But that's not really how he's using it. He's kind of using it. He is definitely like doing Soundgarden unplugged type thing.
And for the ones above to guide me down the road. Yeah, grief is only love that's got no place to go. So hang on to.
There's the Chris Cornell-ism, I think. It really sounds like country, but done grunge. It's cool. I like it.
Certain is it's out of my control.
Ooh, the only thing for certain is it's out of my control. That's brilliant. I love that, embracing the doubt.
Yeah, grief is only love that's got no place to go. Yeah, grief is only love.
So I think he's done that really, really cool. It's sort of like a bit of pop writing, really. Like the grief is only love that's got no place to go. It's a bit like a sort of Todd Rundgren-y kind of pretty wordy refrain, but conceptually he's used the rest of the song to sort of justify that expression, which, you know, on its own it could just be a bumper sticker or something like that, but actually it's, you know, he's contextualized it by building a song around that conceit, you know. It's a really great bit of country pop writing done grunge. It's really cool. This is a really accomplished songwriter, I think.
Place to go. Yeah, grief is only love. Grief.
I would say there's a little bit of Depeche Mode in the way that riff works as well. It's all dark. I think there's a lot more pop in this guy than he's probably prepared to admit to himself, really. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I have used the word pop in a disparaging way in the past, but that's not how I mean it here. I mean pop as in, it demonstrates the potential to cross over into the mainstream broader markets, really. Because it's got hooks, you know, that's a hook.
Grief is only love, yeah. Grief is only love, yeah.
That's a lovely bit of guitar playing at the end.
Grief is only love.
Yeah, gorgeous. Okay, that's lovely. I mean, I think to summarize and repeat what I've said 2 seconds ago, sounds like country music, but done, I don't know, there's something pop in the arrangement. When I'm talking about arrangement, I mean the compositional arrangement. I think his voice is cursive like Chris Cornell, roars like Chris Cornell when he opens it up. There's bits of U2 and stuff in there as well. It's really, wow, that's huge sounding to me. Justin Hawkins rides again. Yeah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, watch one of these 2 videos, and tell me what you think of Stephen Wilson Jr. and his brilliant guitar playing and singing. Yeah, emotional, heavy. I didn't cry. That's because I was concerned with guitar tunings, and always I had one part of my mind's eye on the fact that I would have to play my theme tune at the end, and I knew it was going to be a mess, and it really was as well. So thank you, Stephen. Well done. Lovely song. Let me know what you think. Cheers, guys. I'll see you on the icebergs. No, on the ice. I mean, what am I talking about? I'll see you on the ice. That's right. Okay.